In 2015, we left the rat race and went to the farm. We bought a 100-year-old farmhouse and 9 acres. After 3 years of extensive renovations, we can finally call ourselves College Hill Farm. Okay folks, welcome back to College Hill Farm. Today, we're pruning grapes. Grapes can be an important part of any homestead. If you have a piece of ground and you want a consistent crop that comes back year after year after year after year, grapes are it, and we love them. Now what we're going to do today, we're going to talk about how to prune grapevines. Now what we're going to look like, it's going to look tough, it's going to look like we're being mean, but if you don't prune, you don't get any grapes. It's just that simple. Now some people have overgrown grapevines that have grown everywhere and taken over a whole fence line, and they get a lot of grapes off of them, but boy, they would get a lot more if they would just prune them. Okay, the tools you're going to need are relatively simple. Now you could prune grapes with about anything, your pocket knife or whatever. You could prune them with a set of kitchen shears, a regular pruner. I've even pruned trees and grapes with a pipe cutter. Just whatever you happen to have. I actually love these dual purpose things. This is a set of wire cutters or diagonal cutters, whatever you want to call them. We use those too. It doesn't matter. But you can prune your grapevines with almost anything, but I'm going to stick with the supposed to use. I'm going to stick with the regular loppers today because I have them on hand. Sometimes when you don't have them on hand, that's what you do. Now, let me set these other things down. The grapes that I've got here, and I don't know if you can see them well, so let's come in a little bit. Well, there. All right, now these grapevines are probably, not probably, are 3 years old. And what we need to do is, they're putting out all kinds of runners. And I've tied them to the grapevine, tied them to our wire here that's going to hold them up. But unless we prune those back, we're not going to get any grapes. What's going to happen is, this vine, see right here, this tip will just continue to grow and grow and grow and grow until it keeps putting out so much that you won't have any new grapes. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to come back, 3 or 4. See here, here's the part that hangs on, that grabs a hold of the arbor. We tie it up with cotton string, but eventually the grape will hold itself up. I'm going to come back behind that, find a joint, if you can see that. I think you can see it. I can't hardly see on here. Find a joint and then just cut that off right at that joint. Now you'll notice here we are in the middle of spring, and it's nice and green on the bottom. Don't throw these away. They'll be worth a lot to you. Now what you want to do is you want to go through and basically tip all of these. You know, tip all the little ones, all the little canes that are sticking up, like this one. I don't know if you can see that. Right here, it's just a little bitty cane. See, it broke right off when I picked a hold of it. See, it was dead back to here. But there's a nice bud, and it's going to come back. But you just tip each one of these, but don't throw them away. And then I'll show you what to do with those later. So here we go. I'm going to tip a bunch of them. Now, you just saw me prune 2 grapevines, and there are that many cuttings off of them. Now, every one of these cuttings can be a new grapevine or 2, and we'll show you that in another video. Now, I have about a 75-foot long grape arbor. Now, I want to have more than that. I want to have 2 or 3 75-foot long grape arbors. So, in another video, I'll show you how to propagate all those cuttings I made. But now, these are 3-year-old grapes. So, I did a lot of pruning. They are going to need to adapt to the arbor, and they need to bush out, because everywhere they bush is where they put on new grapes. Let me say that again. Everywhere they bush is where they put on new grapes. So if you want to have grapes, you want your grapevines to bush, and you want to keep cutting back those tips, removing so that air can flow through the grapevines and the whole bit. Now, we'll come back in the spring a little later on after these start doing their thing and make sure that the grapes themselves, the vines, are on the arbor correctly. If not, we'll cut the little tendrils loose and anchor them with string. Just old cotton string. Eventually they'll hang themselves. You don't have to worry about that. Just use a cotton string that'll rot up in a year or two, and they will do themselves. Now, you can use zip ties too, because zip ties, eventually the sun will kill them too. So until next time, I'd like to thank you for visiting with us at College Hill Farm today. I hope you found our videos entertaining and or informative. If you did, please like, share, subscribe, and comment on both Facebook and YouTube. Until then, I'll see you in the next video. Bye-bye.